Hey guys, Happy New Year. Welcome to the team call. I'm excited to talk with you today. But first, let me just congratulate you guys on an awesome December. I saw a lot of fire and momentum and excitement around this program and just like finishing out the year strong and coming into a new year. So that was really fun to see that momentum and everybody getting so excited about the launch of a new program. So tonight we are talking about crafting your vision, and essentially it's vision board planning. But this is not a strength of mine, the whole like visual, like creating the visual. So I got some help from some resources, and like I have a friend, another coach friend of mine who like has this whole great little training on it, kind of walking people through some of the process. However, I have had a lot of success using visualization in the past, and I haven't really utilized it as well as I'd like to. And it's something that it's so powerful, and I think most of us kind of think, oh, that sounds like a good thing, kind of sounds cool, but practically it doesn't seem to be like, that big a deal. But I know that certain times in my business that I've used it, it's been extremely impactful for me. And but I haven't really done it in terms of like a vision board. And so what I've done in the past, and you might consider something like this, is creating like a Pinterest board. That's kind of how I got started doing it. This was the year that I went 15 star, and I did it really like fast. Like I jumped pretty quickly. I used visualization and affirmations religiously, and I don't know why I haven't done it as consistently as I did at that time. I don't know, but I'd like to. But I was using a Pinterest board, and you can probably Google that. I think bohoberry.com is who gave me the idea to do that. But I really like the idea of the vision board because it's more, I have to log into my app or I have to log into Pinterest to see that. So to be extra intentional. And when I have, something that's like right in front of me, like putting it as my wallpaper, if I'm doing something digital, or, something like a hard copy of something. And that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to to start a little digital board. You might not love that. You might decide to do something different. That's okay. I think just starting with something is huge. It's a lot of the value tonight is going to come from just the practice of talking through some of these things. Do you know what I mean? Is starting to put it on paper, starting to craft your vision. That's really the value of tonight, is kind of an accountability to getting started on a process that you're probably putting off. I know that I have. I actually wanted to do this prior to the call entirely before I got on with you, but I didn't because it's just so hard to like make yourself sit down and do. I like put it off for so long. So it's good. We all have the accountability to kind of walk through some of these steps. And maybe you won't finish it tonight. You probably won't. We probably shouldn't. But I want to get you started, and I want to get you starting to think about what vision looks like for you, what's going to direct you. And not just this year. I don't really love the idea of like yearly goals at all. But this is a time that people are like really motivated. So I want to just kind of get you started, because that should shift. Like maybe like I believe that goals they should be dynamic. And as you move forward in one area, you might need to shift things out. So but I just want to get you started, and I want to get you started thinking about the kind of things that I don't think a lot of people put into, they don't put into perspective when they're making business goals. Because something that I'm going to share in my presentation at Super Saturday this weekend is so much about what you're overcoming and what you're becoming to get to those goals. So it's going to stem from some of these questions. So I have some notes that I'm going to pull from. And anybody who has anything they want to chime in with, like I said, this is me facilitating a call. This is not me leading. Like I know a whole lot about like vision board planning. So I'm more facilitating than anything tonight. And like I said, if any of you have insights or perspectives or anything that you'd like to share that's worked for you or whatever, something that you can provide clarity around for others, please go ahead and unmute yourself and chime in. I would appreciate that and love that. So if you've never done a vision board before, and again, this is something was uncomfortable for me, I get it. It's basically a representation of all the things that you want to do, have in your life, want to be, and it's to be a reminder, like a daily reminder, so that you can look at it every day and remind yourself of your deepest desires. We know every day we wake up and we're just so distracted. Someone's sharing their screen. Is that intentional? That's fine if it is, just curious. Whose screen is this? I don't know. Teresa. Oh, Teresa, do you know you're sharing your screen? I don't know if she realizes she's sharing her screen. Anyway, we wake up every day and we feel like we have all these big ideas, but the day gets taken away from us if we don't have focus. And so having that, that visual is huge. I know a lot of us sit down to our miracle morning, and that is an excellent time to do visualization. This is when I tend to do it. And I more picture things in my mind. That's what I started with, which is more picturing each day what I wanted to see in my life. I would literally picture myself like opening up my back office to see a certain number of coaches sponsored. If you're looking at income goals, maybe you're picturing what that looks like, if you're actually visualizing what that looks like. And this sounds so silly, but do you guys know like a Jim Carrey story where he writes himself like a $5 million check? Those things work because when you see it every day, you manifest that life. I hate to use the word universe, like the universe, like what's around you can create that reality when that is all you see. That is the only perspective from which you view the world, and you can create that into existence. And it sounds crazy, but you should try it for a good 12 months and see how it goes for you. So it's basically a visual representation of what you're trying to accomplish. Hang on, my screen now has moved. One moment. Okay. So now I want us to all, myself included, because I did not do this beforehand, to start to kind of scribble some things down without like any censorship. So you're not going to try, like this doesn't have to be about your business. There's no rules. I want you just to start, because no one's going to see it. This is all whatever crazy is up here, it's going to be put pen to paper. And those questions I posted in the team page or in the event, I want you just to start to scribble as I like first question. I'll give you like all 2 minutes to just start going at it. If money, people's opinions and judgments and fear were not factors, what would you do, be, and have? No rules, does not have to relate to a topic or anything. I want you just to just go without even thinking. 2 minutes. Okay. Here comes the tough part. 2 minutes. What beliefs or things would you have to let go of to create this in your life? This is really important to identify. 2 minutes. Go. What beliefs or things would you have to let go of to create this in your life?
But Hockey just start.
Did someone say something? Okay. And last one we're going to write down. Number 3, what would you have to believe in order to be, do, and have these things? What would you have to believe in order to do, to be, do, and have these things? 2 minutes. Okay. This is just get you started. This is an activity that you could probably spend a lot of time on. And these aren't necessarily the last 2 aren't necessarily things you're going to put on a vision board. But I think these are important. It's an important framework to have before you start making goals. I think oftentimes we set arbitrary goals because of what we think is good for us, maybe because if you come into this like I came into coaching, being a person who achieved for the sake of others, or was always like, I did it for other people. The things that I did in my life, it was to make others happy. I was a people pleaser, wanted to be teacher's pet, wanted my mom to be happy and proud of me. Sometimes I think we just set goals to like, they're kind of arbitrary because they sound good. That's what others think we should do. And I don't think we sometimes take enough time to set goals that help us to grow as a person in the areas that we need the most growth. Or maybe we set set goals that could, but we're not focusing on it from that perspective. And I really want the people in this team to be growing through their goals, overcoming limiting beliefs, throwing some of this crap out the door that we tell ourselves. So I just want you to come at it from this perspective before you start putting goals on paper, goals on a vision board, that the why behind it isn't just to like hit marks. I don't even think our whys sometimes is enough to really push us towards sustained growth. Those big whys that we put out there, I don't even think those motivate us a lot of the time because we haven't shined the light on some of these things so blindly. So they're on paper, which is good. So we're going to move on somewhat. Please take your time later to expand on these if you like. But anyone, you don't have to. Seriously, don't feel you need to. But if anybody wants to chat in the window or unplug, unmute, is there anything that you would like to share? Something that you'd like to do or have? Something to let go of? Something you have to believe? Anybody like to just open this just to kind of, I think it helps to hear from others. Kind of reminds us that we're all pretty much the same. Seriously, don't feel pressured, but I wanted to.
Hey, I have a good one, Megan.
Okay.
I am a workaholic recovering, and I listened to a great podcast probably about a month ago that talked about how we don't have to work harder to get what we want. And so I didn't know that that was going to come up when I answered those questions, but a lot of them had to do with like, you don't have to work 24/7 in order for your dreams to become a reality. It has to be what you're doing and why you're doing it more so than how much you're doing of it. So that was something that came up through mine.
That's a really great one, because that's a really ingrained belief system that I think a lot of people have, and that's really hard to shake. I know I struggle with it. So that's one of those belief systems. It's not a matter of just hearing that podcast once. You have to probably work on that really hard. Yeah, I'd love to hear that podcast actually. So that's perfect. That's a perfect example, Martha. So thanks for speaking up. And by the way, congrats on 36 months of Success Club. That is an amazing accomplishment. Very, very few people can say that they have done that. So that is to be applauded for sure. Yes. Someone down here, Sarah, says, I have to let go of the belief that money equals happiness, that I can't make enough money doing the one thing that I love the most, dance. That the thing that fills my heart with the most happiness isn't good enough. So I love that. And that's another belief system that's really solid. I mean, we're just in a culture where that's pretty much what we're told, that financial success is what you're supposed to climb towards to be happy. So good. Thank you. Thanks, guys. Okay, so before we start to like put these goals in place anywhere, just a couple things that I think are important. Number one, to like, if anybody's, did I mention this book before? The Magic. I encourage, this was a side note, but like write this down somewhere. This is a really awesome book. I didn't think I'd be into it because I thought the whole like The Secret and it's a little bit not far-fetched, but like I just couldn't get as behind it. But it talks about how gratitude, how life-changing gratitude is, and how we manifest so much in our life just by being thankful for every moment. And so we live the opposite. We live like today I had a fight. I had my internet not working. My internet wasn't working, and my AC or heat wasn't working. And it's like it was legit 4 degrees outside. And anything that we can like blame the world for, we do. We kind of approach the world, and I could have easily been like, oh my gosh, and I wanted to, like initially, this is ridiculous. I haven't had a chance to work. It's been such a crazy time. I was looking forward to today. The kids go back to school, and I actually get to sit down and like get after some emails and here it is, and it's freezing in my house. I could have, but like just approaching it with gratitude. So every day, even like the tough times. So I think setting goals can make you long and make you feel like you don't have enough. I want us to all come to this activity being really grateful for what we have. I don't think we're gifted and blessed with more when we're not appreciative of what we already have. And the more that we sit and wait for more to come to us without really just embracing and loving and just accepting all that we have in our lives, I think we're just going to continue to be sad and miserable. So let's just approach this with a heart of gratitude for everything that we do have, and then to release any disappointments from the past, judgments of the past. If you had a tough year last year, if you set some goals that you didn't make happen, if you've judged yourself and you've criticized yourself and you've put negative self-speak around, this is where like that's just going to be gone. That's out the door. We're releasing any disappointments from past experiences. Okay. Moving on. Right. Okay. So one more activity. And that's where we actually start to put a little bit more specific goals on paper. And then we're going to get to the practical steps. So we're going to start talking about the different areas of our life: financial, career, relationships, home, travel, personal growth, your spiritual life, social life, your fitness, any of those things, like this is where I want to start to get a little more specific, because this is where we're gonna end up putting to our, our vision board. So, and I want you to focus as you write these things down more on how you want to feel, not just like what you want to like accomplish, but like, and even just like put words down. You can just even put words like joy, peace, contentment, free, discipline, whatever, like any of those words that come to your head that you want to feel, like throw those on paper too, along with the goals or the things in your life. Let's go ahead and like get more specific. Let's go ahead and like take an audit currently of where you're at in those different areas: fitness, financial, career, or business, relationships. Take an audit where you're at now and kind of envision what that ideal life looks like for you, and then start to put some goals on paper. Maybe what you want. It can be something like in terms of relationship, it can be like whatever, a certain number of date nights, or it can be something like that, or it can be like a business goal like diamond, or like an income goal with a number. So it can look like anything you want it to. It doesn't matter. But it does have to be something that's kind of measurable, or you can, when you've hit it. You can't just say, I want to have a better relationship. That doesn't really help visualize really. So take audit of those things, envision what you want your ideal to look like, and start putting some of those on papers, especially those that have like the widest gap, for you. You ready to go? We'll do 3 minutes because this one's a little bit more in depth. Hit it. All right. Let's start moving. It's okay if you don't have all your goals. It's okay. I want us to get started. I want us to just start moving. So, couple different things you can do. And anybody can chime in if they have other ideas. You can use, I'm going to actually use my phone to do like a good app. But if you want to do like canva.com or PicMonkey, those are really great options to do digitally. And on a computer. I'm handier on this, so I'm going to use the Over app. Does anybody use Over? Over? I love it so much. Do I have another app that I wrote down for you guys? Look at my notes. Just those. Or you could try that Pinterest board idea if that's something that you think will work more for you. It's not going to really follow along our activity. But really, what you're going to do is you're going to start just finding images. And a lot of these apps actually you can like search for images. If you can even search it, you can even plug in the word like joy or whatever, and you can find something to go along with it. So if anybody wants, like, someone says PowerPoint. So PowerPoint's an option, Rochelle says. And if anybody is doing it on their computer and they want to share their screen at any time, you're welcome to do that. I'm opening up the floor to do that. What's everyone using? Would like to hear what you're using. Canva, PicMonkey. So decide like where you're gonna put it. For me, are you gonna print it out? Are you gonna like make something cute? You're gonna print it out? Okay, yeah. You want to know how you're gonna use it, how you're gonna look at it every day, because that's the goal. That's the idea. Is each day you're gonna to look at this board and you're going to visualize these things in your life. You know, look at them and picture what it's like to be there. You're going to like when I listened to Jim Carrey's little thing he does, he said, I would just be driving in my car and I would think I have all these things. It was like I have them, I just don't have them on my hands. And he would actually like, that's how he thought about those things in life that he wanted to manifest, was he in his mind was believing that they were his. He just didn't have his hands on them. So where is that going to be, most likely to be a reality for you? I have a big external monitor that I'm going to create like a landscape graphic that I'll see this every day. I look at it every day. It's right there in front of me. So Pinterest Sarah says Pinterest on her phone. That's what I used to do when I was doing morning. Yep. And so this is more like, I would like for people to go ahead and share what they're doing, because this is us just sitting here together. Or if you want to like unmute yourself and share ideas. Molly said she printed out pictures that really spoke to her. What I like to do, I like to find quotes that really speak to me, and you can maybe put that in the center of your image, something that really like, maybe you have a word for the year, like mine is unapologetic. I might put that in the center of my graphic, be unapologetic. So there's something like that for you. Put that big and bold.
So I did mine the other day, and I can share it if you guys want to see.
We would love it. I think inspiration like that, I should have gotten it.
So, okay, hold on. There it is.
Yay, hang on, let me look at my speaker view. Cool, so she has 80-day obsession and a couple quotes that she loves. That 5 looks like a 5-star, 5-second rule. World of Freedom in 2018. Not sure 1200 it is, but I'm sure it means something big. This is great. This is great. And the more specific, she probably knows what the specifics of those are. They're maybe not written on that board, but knowing like what is that mean 80-day obsession. Maybe she has a certain number of rounds, she wants to do it perfectly. You want to know exactly like how to measure that these are accomplished for sure. So thank you for sharing, Molly.
Yeah.
There is a lot of value, I think, in actually doing the boards that are put your hands on, like the practice of cutting out the pictures. I'm going to have to play some music if y'all want to talk, though. All right. How about everybody comments below one thing that's going on their board? Or as many as you want, but at least one. I like that, Carly. Dream body. So a good one for that would be to find like an image of a figure that looks like what you think you could achieve. I think that would help. Diamond status, even like a picture of a diamond structure. Visualizing what it takes to get to diamond. These are good. Finding an image like that. Success Club Monthly, Jody. Maybe you even have like an image where you have like 12 bundles of 3 people that you've helped. Does that make sense? Like something that like makes you think of the process associated. It makes you think of like what that actually means. What does Success Club every month mean? It means 3 lives every month. I think these are the kind of visuals that I think help us to really create that kind of behaviors that equal. These are good. Lake house. Find a beautiful lake house image and put that up there. Fantasize about it. Student loans paid off. That's a good one. Put like a big like Sally Mae image with like a big fat red no sign over it. Or middle finger, Chelsea, if that helps. Love those words, Valerie. My words are peace, freedom, focus, clarity. Middle finger to your haters. Maybe Carly, knowing what's going to give you your dream body is 80-day obsession. Maybe you want like an image like Molly has of the logo, or reminds you that's the process. That's what it's going to take. Is that commitment, that discipline. Envision your abs. See, I'm reading yours and not doing that. See, Janelle, you don't suck at meal prep. You're currently working on your meal prep skills. I'm not kidding though. If you tell yourself you suck at meal prep, you will always struggle with meal prep. You've got to, the language is powerful. The words that we tell ourselves are so powerful. Saying that word suck, it has such a weight to it that we carry. All right, well, we don't have to sit here and do this all together, but now that you've gotten started, I think I will do like I did last year. By the end of this week, I'll do a drawing for anybody who shares a picture, if you have like a actual hard copy of the vision board, or their whatever digital. I'd like for you to work on it. I'd like for you to continue to work on it. I think it's a little hard when we're in this environment to really get after it, but I wanted to get you rolling on it, and I wanted to get you accountable, and myself accountable to getting it started and getting something ready for the new year. So in the team event that was created for this call, share your graphic. Maybe actually I'll do a post that you can post under, just to collect it all in one place, and I'll do a drawing for a nice little prize. I'm sure I'll come up with something awesome. So yeah, I'll say goodbye. Is there anything else that anybody wants to share? Any insights on vision board and visualization? Anybody who's used this effectively better than me, perhaps, that wants to chime in? You can take the floor. You're welcome, Janelle. All right, y'all. Have a great night. And next week, we're going to get heavy with ADD obsession planning. So this was an idea that I knew that I wanted to help all my coaches on anyway, and my challengers. So I figured, why not just like make our team call? It's going to be a different environment than our normal team call. I'm encouraging you to invite your challengers, and obviously you. I know we're all going to get a lot. Trust me, y'all. If you're not already getting a ton of crazy questions, they're gonna come, and to have a lot of them answered all up front will be huge. I've also created a document that I can share, that I'm going to keep updated with FAQs. Every time I get a question that I think I'm going to get asked a couple times, I've started adding the answers to it. Like, for example, people are asking about, oh my gosh, what if I wake up at 4 o'clock? Well, I have a link I just send them to this form, tag them in Autumn's video. All those things that we're all going to be asked. I'm starting at like a shared document that we all can use, a Google Doc, in our groups, to access ourselves, to be able to send information, or I'm putting mine in my file section and tagging people. Because I'm all about creating accountability for people, helping them to be accountable to themselves and not spoon feeding and hand holding. So anyway, that's the way that I'm going to like kind of kill that 2 birds with 1 stone. But anyway, I want to kind of help everybody get that new meal plan in place. It's going to drop on the 8th, and then everyone's going to freak out. So I plan to kind of help people figure out what this looks like with, in their life, as best I can. I think it's going to depend on how many people show up, what I can do to like let a whole bunch of people talk. But I'm going to do my best to answer all the questions that I know that we had in the test group, and kind of keep the heat off of you guys, and just give you my best tips, for what I experienced. Does that make sense? And if any of you guys have any questions or suggestions on what you feel like it might be important for me to touch on, send them my way. I'm happy to whatever, address anything that you feel like you're going to get a lot of questions about or you're struggling with. Because if you as coaches are struggling with it or curious about it, then of course our challenges are. And that was something that Autumn was realizing, like she just takes a lot for granted. And when we came at her with these questions, she's like, oh, okay, that makes sense that you would want to know. So now that I've been doing it for so long, I may not realize all the questions. So please send those my way. Okay. I'll see you all next Tuesday with your challengers. Yes? So excited. So excited. All right. Have a great night, guys.